So
And why are you trying to match with me? Right.
I'm not trying to match,
All in
actually.
my
I'm just
closet.
giving like a wine kind of shirt. This is a wine.
It does match the kind of wine.
Yeah,
Like
it's
you just
kinda
spilled
like
it all over you.
Yeah, it's like a drip. A little bit of a drip. So.
Drip, drip, Bob,
I see
drip.
a couple.
No, it's
Oh, I
not.
thought there was issues with it. Oh.
I'm checking your swag.
Oh, okay. I didn't know. Is that something that they did back
Swag check.
Back in the day, they
Swag
did that?
check.
Oh, okay.
You can't touch my swag. Do they still say swag?
Not really. They don't say swag or thought. Remember last time you said thought?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
So no swag.
So
What is
it's
the
not-
new lingo? Lingo?
It's lingo.
Lingo.
Mute
But I
that.
can say lingo.
Really not really.
Okay, can I say something?
Yeah.
How do people come up with their words? And it's okay for them to be popular. They come up with a slang, a swang, and it goes,
Right.
and everybody start using it. But then, when I come with my words,
Yeah, I'm gonna need you to mute it. We're on
Danger.
set. We're on set. Do you know how to do
why
it?
you? No, go ahead.
Yeah.
I need Google on point. Dang.
We're on set. Anyways, so what I would say is once you you can.
That's why I said.
Start your own lingo. But lingo. But
I want to make my own word.
okay.
Just go with it.
This is the distinction you need to figure out, okay? When people don't start saying it, don't get upset. You can say what you want to say, right? But I don't know if it's going to catch on, right? So you can say lingual.
Okay, like danger.
Danger was cute. But see, I think I also was like, you know what? Let me start saying danger too.
Why?
I think it was more of I thought it was weird at first, or I don't know what it was. But
Is it a fill in words?
What'd you say?
Is it filling in your words that you really want to say?
No, I don't know why. I think that sometimes there are words that I gravitate towards where I'm like, oh, I should say that or whatever. I don't come up with things a lot. I think I usually get them from other people, but I think that once I start saying them, then other people do. I'm kind of more of like the fire starter.
If you say so.
Let
me just clock this.
Okay.
It really makes me cringe when you cuss.
Let's clock it. Okay, so what's the tea? What's the issue?
The tea is that me and your dad was listening to you this morning, and we was like,
Wait, what video were you watching?
We were watching.
It was a TikTok?
Yes.
Okay.
We were watching the Massey.
Sonia Massey.
Yeah.
And I said the F word.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
And you said the B word.
Did I? Okay, I didn't remember that.
Okay. And my thing is, I think you need some lessons.
Okay,
Because you're very, very like geeky like with it. Like it's not even it doesn't flow naturally. It was like me and him looking at each other at the same time.
Right.
Like, what?
Right.
It don't even sound
So
right.
here's my thing. I think that you guys are
old?
No, not old. I think that because of the way that I speak,
Because
more properly,
we really have.
right? I'm just saying it ain't no the way I speak right now is how I'm gonna swear, obviously, because that's how I speak.
Right, there ain't no swag to it.
Right, it's not gonna be like, right, and that's what you expect from me. But I can't give that. I can only give what I normally do.
So
I'm not gonna be fake.
You give like.
I'm saying like, I'm not gonna be like.
Fake,
well, you know what I'm saying.
It's more
for me,
like, who are you?
I'm just saying.
Who are you?
I'm saying swear words as Darius, as I speak. This is how I talk.
But it's so lame.
It's not. I don't think it's lame. I use them in the correct way. I just like.
It's so unswaggable.
I don't know what unswaggable is.
It's what I put. I just told you I'm making my words.
You didn't make up the word swag.
Unswaggable. Please put
fine.
that on the screen.
Okay.
I'm almost trying to get you to edit it, boy. Unswaggable. Then I also say lingual.
Okay. That's
so
great.
Please put my words on there.
All right, I'll let them know. I'll show them up on the screen. Okay. But my thing is that I think that, first of all, you have to think about the dynamics of it. If I heard you guys swearing, I would be like, this is weird. First of all.
That's probably what it is. I think it's weird.
First of all, you're my parents and I'm your son. So, like, you hearing me swear when I never swear, that's also something new. And then, also, the way that I speak, you're probably like, what is going on? He's saying, and I'm, like, pronouncing every letter.
Yeah,
I'm not
why?
you want me to do more like a...
You got the
Yeah.
Instead of the R, you gotta say the
Okay,
instead of the R or the
ing.
instead of the shh.
Yeah, so I've actually never heard anybody say shh. I never heard that. But
you said ch, and you go and say cha.
Okay.
Right?
So if you're at home, I'm sorry. I don't know what is going on actually right now. I don't know if you're following along what's going on. But my point is I think there's a couple things that are adding into the fact that you think that this is weird. When I swear it's weird. I've been, it's because of I'm your son. You don't hear me swear very often.
I probably did.
And then also it's that
it's almost like he's still.
I talk like this all the time, and you guys are used to it or whatever. But I think that because I'm saying swear words in such a proper way.
Yeah, and you talk in a proper way.
And I'm saying the swear words also in a proper way.
Right.
But you expect me to change it to be like more like
slang.
Yeah, but that was just sound unnatural because I'm saying everything else.
Because you're not. Right.
And then all of a sudden I'm saying
Right.
And that would just be weird.
And it sounds weird when you say me and dad says to each other the same way. He sounds so weird. He needs a lesson.
First of all, don't ever watch my TikTok and have a whole session about me.
We was having pillow talk.
Okay, I don't need any sort of pillow talk about me at all and what I say.
Pillow talk.
And so what's very interesting is that so what do you think about me swearing? Besides the fact that you think it's like cringy and whatever.
It's very cringy.
Mm-hmm.
Number one.
Mm-hmm.
Number two, I was like, wow. He grew up in a household where his parents never sweared, but he turned out to be a swearer.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of interesting because I'm like, and he doesn't know how to do it.
I'm very different than the family, I think.
Dalvin does it too.
I know Dalvin swears as well.
And he sounds just like you.
Does he? Do you think so?
Yeah.
I really haven't heard him swear that often. But maybe he does.
I haven't heard him swear that often.
I've heard him swear before,
and the fact that you both try to hold it for me. Like, I mean, you got how...
Well, of course we want to be respectful.
Yeah, you do. But what I'm saying, how do you have the withhold to be able to...
It's like code switching.
Oh.
You
so when your grandmother...
Right, of course I don't
You know
swear.
how to be professional.
Oh, yeah, I can turn it on and off. I know I'm around or whatever.
So,
sometimes...
Wait a minute. Let me clock this. Who are you?
What do you mean?
Who are you?
I'm Darius Gaskin, your son, when I'm with you.
And then who are you when you're not?
I'm Darius Sharper like it's hot when I'm gone. Yeah. It's a different scenario. It's a different scenario. I'm a different person. It depends on who I'm with.
Okay, so do you be dropping like it's hot?
I have a professional setting. No, I was joking about that. But I have I do that though. Don't play.
What?
I do definitely drop it like it's hot.
Let me see.
No, I can't.
So you want to? You don't want to?
I can't morph into my new characters.
Do you know those people that say that? What's that video? What's that show that says that you don't know who I am? It's like they have a double life.
Oh, like the
literally.
catfish?
No, they have a double life. Like they literally would be one person. You would be like, oh, that is Darius. But at nighttime, they turn into somebody else. This is their real life. Their life of like you will see somebody and they be like this, and then when at nighttime they turn into a swinger or all black with whips and black makeup
like
and
a
black.
dominatrix.
Yeah, a dominatrix.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then who are you?
I don't know what.
Do you have a secret life? That's what it's called, a secret life.
Oh, I don't have a secret life. No.
You sure?
Yeah.
You said you dropping a lot, like you dropping like it's hot, like a bomb in a tomb.
Okay, but I just meant more. It was a joke. First of all, me saying that.
Okay.
But what I meant is that like I am definitely different around. I code switch often, very often.
Why?
I don't.
Well, you know what? I do have a code switch in me.
Most black people do.
Yeah. Because you gotta.
But I think that it's more than just what black people consider code switching. Because like I'm code switching within like my friends versus my parents. But for most black people, it's like when you're with black people versus other people.
Yeah. Right. Exactly. That's my code
is.
switching is.
Right.
But what I'm saying to you is that you code switch.
You have a code switch. I'm thinking about it right now. I know Shaquisha. I know Shakita. I've seen her before. Definitely around these type of people.
I'm Shaquita?
Actually, no. You're Beatrice. instead of Bethany or Beatrice. Around, and you go, I don't know, but you know, it's just like everyone has that when you're trying to be like more. It's almost like you're going to like you're at a luncheon.
You know what? It's like when you're trying to meet somebody for the first time. He's like, "Hello," and you get that firm handshake.
Right. I definitely.
And then you're very close with you. You're very proper, more.
Well, Dad called me the other day, and this is when you guys, and I don't think they watch these videos. Wait, no, they don't watch my channel. I don't think. Hey, how y'all doing? But he was in the car with the guys you went. The guys. It was. I think it was Greg and I don't know who the other person was that you guys went to the R&B festival with this past weekend or whatever. Mm-hmm. And I was like, "Oh, did you guys catch that game?" No, I didn't do that. I'm just kidding. I didn't say that. But Dad was like, "Oh, you know, obviously you had to say like, oh, you're on speakerphone, like," and I wasn't like trying to talk politics or like I wasn't like, oh, like what y'all doing?
Because you knew the code switch.
Yeah, of course I was like, oh yeah, like I was like, yeah, like Chicago's like just like I love the duality of the diversity in Chicago, and really just the way that all the people intertwine.
So you weren't talking what you're supposed to be talking.
Yeah, I was just like, you know, it's just like a different way that you behave.
And I think you do that too. Do you find yourself behaving different in front of your dad than me? Let's clock it.
Okay, this is a good question.
Yeah.
I think that as me growing up through my gay experience, or just being gay in general, right? I've had to figure out and navigate my femininity. And this is a whole thing now. We open a can of worms.
Okay.
So I think that for me, I would say that I have a mixture of masculine and feminine energy, right?
Masculine and feminine?
Yes.
Okay.
Or you're trying to don't try it. It seemed like you were trying to. Okay.
No, I wasn't.
All right. Well.
So what would the feminine side be? Let me see. Would you get a belly ring?
No. I
probably that's
wouldn't.
Not feminine. What feminine parts are you? What parts are you exuding with the feminine?
I think so. This has changed and morphed over the years. I think that when I was younger, even though I knew I was gay, I've always been the way that I am personality-wise, right? I don't think I've ever changed that. So I think my whole life I've been just Darius, right?
And it's more of a feminine.
Right. But
I've always been that.
But I think that the way that I express myself on the outside when it comes to clothing or jewelry or things like that
is masculine. Not masculine. Wait.
I'm just kidding.
Oh.
No. But listen, let me explain.
Okay.
So I think that it has changed over the years. When I was younger in high school or whatever, I've always been the way that I am personality-wise, like I said, and my mannerisms and things like that. But I've been, you know, in a large part, masculine presenting with the way that I dress and things like that. When I got into college, I decided that I wanted to experiment with doing different things. So it started with me, remember I bought that purse. Right. So
you did kind of more.
I bought the purse. I started painting my nails.
Yeah.
I started like I wore actual heels to Renaissance.
And you wore actual onesies, like bodysuits. Let's clock it.
What bodysuit are you talking about? That's fake. You actually just made that up. Okay, this is I don't know what you're talking about. I actually never wore a bodysuit in my life.
I meant the fitted tops. They look like they bodysuits, like Beyonce.
Yes, like my Beyonce outfit.
But you just didn't have a snap in the middle.
Yeah, I didn't have a snap in the middle.
But you like those.
Well, that would be a little bit too much. I have an actual genitalia down there. I wouldn't work. Well, some people do that.
Yeah, they do.
So if
they
you guys
do.
do that,
That's what I'm going to tell you.
But I'm saying for me, I personally wouldn't do that.
Okay, cool. I want to know more about your femininity. How far will you go? Would you wear a wig?
Listen.
Would you wear?
So at my stage,
some people do
so
that.
I'm never gonna say never for any of these things, but I don't. Right now, I don't feel like I would ever wear a wig. Okay, Mom. So don't try it. I don't think I would ever wear a wig. I don't think that I'm into makeup or anything like that. I do. We'll remind me about the nail painting. We'll get back to that. But for as far as clothing, I really have been wearing masculine things, whatever. I recently have been, maybe in the past 5 years or so, I've been like, okay, I don't really care where I shop from in a store. If I go into a store and I see like jeans or something like that, that's a woman's jean, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I can't wear this, I can't buy this because it's a woman's jean. Like, I don't care. If it looks good on me and I like the way that it fits, like the ones that I wore to Renaissance were...
You wore some mom jeans before.
Yeah, I wore those mom jeans before, the ones that
and you
showed
said
my
they were
ankles in. They were in.
They're not.
Well, they were in at the time.
No, they wasn't.
Well, for you.
They were moms.
Well, for you.
They were mommies.
Okay, well, they were, okay.
And not this mommy.
Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, okay.
I can't do it.
You don't have to be your mommy.
Okay.
Thank you.
And one this mommy.
Okay, it doesn't have to be that mommy.
It has to be my mommy.
Anyways,
yeah.
So my point is I've been that's an example. I was started to be like, okay, I don't care where in the store I'm shopping, right? And it just everything for me just started. It was little by little. When Renaissance happened, and I know everything sounds so crazy. I'm always talking about Beyonce, but the Renaissance album actually changed my life. I know this sounds so like, yes, I will be making that face too if anybody else said this about any other artist.
Change your life how? In what way?
Let me explain. And I know a lot of my friends who listen to Renaissance. It did that too for them. Like all of my gay friends in college, and also Malik. Renaissance was, I don't even know how to explain it, like the actual best album we had ever heard to date. And not even in like musicality or whatever.
So it changed the LGBT community.
I think that
it did.
Whole. I think that it did, honestly.
Did it make you guys have more confidence in who you are?
100%. I think that for me personally.
Because it was validation.
For me personally, first of all, there's a whole slew of things. It was iconic in the sense that like, we had no idea what was coming. Beyonce never had done like, I didn't know that it was going to be a dance album.
So it was trying to pay homage to you guys.
Really, that's what it was. And so when I heard it, I was like, I had been into Vogue and things like that, like more prematurely than any of my other gay friends. Like they had never been into like that kind of scene. I always used to watch like Vogue videos and stuff. You know, the stuff, the actual Vogue dancing.
Yeah.
I used to show you that stuff. Yeah. And
the competition.
Right.
Is that on yet? Is that on yet?
No.
Okay,
they canceled that show.
Okay.
Which is sad, but
yeah,
because it was a good show to me.
It was a very good show.
So I used to watch all that stuff, and I used to be into it or whatever, but just not like really vocal or anything about that because none of my friends were into it. And then the fact that she came out with an album that was dedicated. And it was Beyonce, and she literally tore it up. Like it was actually iconic the way she did it, and it was just a surprise.
Would you think that it's the best thing she done by date?
To date?
Yeah, to date.
Beyonce's always topping herself. I think Cowboy Carter was iconic. But for me personally, I think Renaissance is still the best. But because I like that type of music. But the point is that me hearing that made me be like, you know what? Like, I think it was a subsequent, also because I was becoming older. Like I was like going through college. I was in my older years of college. I'm hearing Renaissance for the first time. And I'm like, what do I want to be? What do I want to do? What do I want to dress like? All of those things, right? And so then that's why for Renaissance, like when I actually went to go see her, it was a huge thing for me. I don't know if you remember, I was frantically panicking.
You paid like $2,000 off of your outfits and stuff. Yeah,
and all the other stuff because this was a big thing for me and also Malik too. Like that is definitely a thing.
I think it was a big thing for a lot of people because people was going broke.
Yeah, people were going broke.
People were buying all the silver, all the silver they wanted, the white. I was like, it was a bit much. People was like, okay, I can't go here and go there and go here because I just brought Beyonce tickets, and everybody knew what that meant. Right.
And I literally did that with Malik, and then also when I went back to Arizona, I went a second time. You remember?
Yeah, you went 2 times.
I went 2 times, and that album.
Was it the same experience?
Yeah, I got floored.
As it was the first time?
No. It wasn't the same experience because the first experience, there was nobody in front of me. Me and Beyonce were touching each other. I was actually that close, and I split my coin to get it.
And he said she looked.
But actually, that was. I don't know what would happen, but we actually got the most iconic experience ever because Malik got into the queue, and I did too, but I was like 4,000, like number 4,000 to buy tickets.
I remember.
He ended up being in like the first 200
I remember you told me.
For Minnesota.
And you stopped.
And he got it immediately.
And you called him,
And I literally remember after that thinking like, wow, we actually ate that. Because there was no way that could have ever happened. Because literally like an hour or two later, all those tickets were like already double price. So we got it for base price, no Ticketmaster like up charging anything. We got $700 a piece. We got it super cheap. That's obviously a lot of money. And you was in the front. But there are people who were with us that day that paid $1,400, and we paid half that. So, anyways, the point is that I became more feminine in that way because while I was.
But what changed? What was the feminine? Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. What changed is that I basically was like, I want to be more comfortable. Like, I just wanted to be more myself. And I feel like that album really made me, the more I listened to it, was like, you know, all my inhibitions were down. I was like, you know what, I should just be able to dress and be and do what I want. And so for that first time ever, I bought heels for the show. Did you know the ones I wore?
Oh, yeah, I know that, but that wasn't your first time wearing heels.
Yes, it was. Well, no, I had well, listen, let me explain. You're right.
Yeah.
Okay, so apparently you know exactly what my
I know.
Okay, but let me explain.
Baby.
So, I had the black ones that were more that was okay. I had listened to Renaissance. Mm-hmm. And before the tour, because the tour was like a year later after the album came out, I had been slowly getting into more like, I'm okay with being myself, right? And I had bought these like chunky booted heel kind of things, but they were more like boots really for a party at my fraternity.
I remember that. You told me
and it was for like a 70s party.
You told me that.
And so I was like, okay, then wear these. But also, I only wore bell bottoms with it. Right?
Yeah, I remember that.
And so then, when Renaissance came around, the shoes I bought for those were more of a stiletto.
A stiletto heel. Mm-hmm.
Because, first of all, I just feel like I ate it, actually, the whole outfit. I think that the top was iconic. I think I still give compliments on those pants to this day. I actually just wore it.
It came together really nicely. You never wore them again?
Yeah, I wore them again the other day I went to another concert. And I got a compliment in a line. I went to go see Labyrinth with Malik. Labyrinth is a guy. He's actually iconic too. But
you know his songs?
Yeah. But anyways, you're not gonna know who he is. But anyway, so I went to go. I got a lot of compliments on the pants and things like that. So I'm at the stage right now where I don't wear those heels anymore now. It was a horrible.
They were a lot of money.
Yeah, I know, and I should have. I mean, I only wore them for the thing. They actually got torn up at the Renaissance concert. Like, people were kicking them and all these other things.
They got ripped?
Basically, they were cheap.
Not with what money they were.
And they were uncomfortable, and they didn't fit me either. I was over here doing squats in them. In my socks, I had to wear 3 pairs of socks before the show. And I stuck my foot in them so that they could expand the leather, and I had to get them wet so that the leather could stretch. I was looking up little remedies, how to get them to be bigger, and because they're women's.
Let's clock this. Uh-huh. Do you think that women's shoes are very, very comfortable with heels? Do you think, or do you feel like, wow?
Well, I have a little bit of information. So I went to Phoenix, Arizona to go. I don't actually know where I was going. Oh, I was going to New York, and I bought a pair of heels. It was just basically a real version of I got some boots from Goodwill for that 70s party, and I bought a real version of them.
I remember that.
And
that was the one with the prints on it.
The what? No, yeah, that was the same time I bought those.
Yeah.
I never wore those ever. You told me not to get them, and I shouldn't have. They're terrible. That's why they were $20. Anyways.
Damn it! I told you that.
Never worn them to
I always knew that. I said they're gonna be uncomfortable.
Well, let me tell you something.
Because the cheap ones do. So no, not all of them.
Do you know who Steve Madden is?
Yes, I do.
He needs to go to jail. Like, actual prison.
There is no.
No, he needs to be under the jail cell.
Why?
I have heard so many horror stories, and then I found out myself. His shoes are, first of all, knockoffs of every other brand. He doesn't make anything by himself. Every single thing in that store is somebody else's knockoff.
I'm glad it's
Don't sue me. And second of all, his shoes are the most uncomfortable shoes I've ever worn. And then I saw several TikToks after I bought those shoes of women saying, do not ever buy Steve Madden shoes unless you want your toes to have rigor mortis. And mine did. All up and down every time I wear those shoes. They're so hard and uncomfortable. My toes are like this. And I just think this is so crazy, and I think he needs to go to jail for that. I'm sorry, he needs to serve time. But anyways, I do think that women's shoes are very uncomfortable, and I do think that I understand the phrase that pretty hurts. I understand.
I said pretty hurts, and also too, when you wear shoes, I always bring me some flats.
So I brought my Balenciagas to Beyonce.
Because I told you to.
Oh, maybe you did.
I did.
Thank you so much.
I remember I said, Darius, you wearing those heels, you need to bring your some shoes, some gym shoes, just in case. Because I'm telling you, you're not going to be able to last that long. Because you told me how long you guys were going to be there. And I said, bring you some shoes.
I think that bringing those shoes was a very good idea because, well, first of all, I didn't even...
Did you switch over?
Yeah, I didn't even end up wearing the heels When I didn't wear it for the whole concert.
I know you didn't.
Because I didn't have to. Because there was someone in front of me, so I'm short, obviously. So sometimes you need a heel when you're in a big like general admission crowd to be like higher up. Mm-hmm. I was so close and I didn't have anybody in front of me that I didn't have to do that. So I just took them off and I put my Balenciagos on. But the rest of the time I wore the heels or whatever. But my thing is that the point is that Renaissance changed the way that I viewed my femininity. And now I still have a lot of hangups of like what I will and won't do. When it comes to painting my nails, I painted my nails for like maybe about a year or two, maybe a year and a half during my college career. And I stopped. What were you gonna say?
Go ahead. And you stop.
I stopped painting them because of the stigma in the gay community. So I'm gonna fill you in.
I already know.
What do you know?
You told me.
Oh, I did tell you, basically.
Yeah.
I actually hate it. I hate actually this whole experience. I hate being the combination of being black and gay. And yes, I'll talk about it. Black people, listen up. And not you guys probably, if you're listening, if you're watching this video, you probably aren't the people I'm talking about. And don't worry, I'll do what I want to do. Listen, don't worry about me. Cancel me if you want to. I know that, and I think that we're getting better as a community, as a black community, but black people are largely homophobic. Point blank period, up and down the
I
thing,
can agree
right?
with that. I can agree with that.
And I don't know why. I
have been guilty of that. I can honestly say that. Because, it's the things that I think that it's a case of you don't know until it happens to you. Does that make sense?
No. Like, what do you mean by that?
You don't know until it happens to you.
Oh, as far as like you having a gay son.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. I know.
Because people would judge, you can say what you want to say until you experience it.
Right.
Firsthand from a person that's a loved one. And you got to go through all of the transitions and the trying to learn and trying to, to grieve. I'm just saying I know what you're saying. That's a process you go through, and then you go to this process of like, okay, I'm gonna support my child with whatever comes because I love my child, and then you go to the point where you like, okay, this is what God would want for me. I'll say, he's love, so I'm gonna love my child. I'm not gonna throw him out. I'm not gonna do this. I don't want him to feel more depressed because I don't want to put that on him. So it's almost like you try to.
Mm-hmm. I understand what you're saying.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that what you're trying to say is like, if you don't ever have to go through it yourself, it's really easy to judge.
Oh yeah, it's really easy to judge. It's really easy to be a homophobic. It's really easy to shun that person. It's really because you're like, I don't have no price.
Right. You don't have
to somebody's close to me that's like that. So Right. But in all, when you find out that it's your a child or it's your niece or it's your family or your friend, you like, man, they're a good-hearted person. I love that person. Why would you want to hurt them in any way? But in reality, they have to go through a lot of stuff because the world hurts them every day. They judge them. People react to them like they're despicable or, and I feel that that's not fair because sometimes black people have to go through that as well as being
black.
Being black.
No, I know.
But I'm not trying to.
I have to experience both.
Right.
Which is the thing that I don't think people think about is that like there is a duality of being black and gay, and I always talk about intersectionality, and there's probably some of you who know who that is, or know what that is, and a lot of my supporters are black women, so that's an intersection, being a woman and being a black person, and understanding those. Being both of those minorities, I have to experience being black and gay, and a lot of the black community, I think for a lot of reasons, a multitude of reasons, is homophobic, right? And not everyone is, and we're coming a lot far,
right.
Not
everybody is,
and like I said, a lot of you watching are not. But I've had to experience what is it going to look like for me being being gay in the black community, and then on the flip side, and this is what I told you many years ago that you were shocked by, is that on the flip side, being black in the gay community is also atrocious. But gay people are far and wide very racist. I was shocked by that. I thought y'all was very close because you would think that a group that is so
judged and so, you know, don't don't get that type of respect from people, that they will draw them closer together, like we all each other got. And when he told me, I was like, why wouldn't you be in a community that loves each other and want to come together, like, okay, y'all, let's hold, because a lot of these, okay, let me just say this, a lot of these children that are gay and being, a lot of these children that are gay and be in these homes, their parents kick them out. They be homeless. I think Darius introduced me to that. I never knew that. We were talking about charities and you know, to give to charities and different things like that. I was trying to get him the charity to go to. He was trying to give me a charity to go to donate. And I found this charity that literally donates to homeless gay children, and told the percentage, it was a large amount of percentage, that gay people get kicked out and be disowned by their parents, their fathers, their mothers, and don't have no more connection to their families. And I thought that was like, wow. Depressed. I mean, I'm sorry.
Yes, okay.
But you know, stuff like that, or ending their life and all that stuff. So it was just crazy to me. I didn't know that was like
what
that.
I had to find out, and also like everything that I've had to try to talk to you and Dad about, like I had to find out on my own. So I found out that like everybody will try to hold on to the little bit of privilege that they do have. So like as a black person, you experience being black, right? And you know what it is to be black. And I'm sure everyone who's black that's watching this understands what I'm talking about. But then in the same breath, they'll be homophobic immediately. Because it's almost like I can just fall back on being like, I can fall back on my privilege and be like, okay, well, at least I'm not like those people. But then you don't think about the fact that there are black and gay people that exist. And then on the flip side, being a gay person who's white, you would think that, oh, I experienced being gay, so I understand what it is to be ostracized or to be a minority or whatever. But they'll cling on to that whiteness as much as they can, because at least I'm not black. Privilege. Yeah. And so I feel, and not everyone who's black and gay experiences or feels this way, but I feel like I don't have a community besides obviously black and gay people, right? But other than that, I don't feel comfortable in the black community because I'm gay. And I don't feel comfortable in the gay community because I'm black. So then when you talk about the duality or that intersection of being black and gay, it's extremely difficult on a day-to-day basis, because there is that, you're ostracized from every angle, everywhere.
So it's like a rejection. It is.
And I had to figure out like what it meant for me to be gay and to have Christian parents. And it's like, it's so many different aspects to try to figure out.
So do you think that sometimes we judge you or have you...
Like you and Dad? No.
Just be honest. Do you think that you feel like, I feel so uncomfortable in front of them, with them? Or
I don't feel uncomfortable. I think that my mechanism to not feeling comfortable is like kind of just lean into it. Like I feel like I very much have been over the past couple of years very much like purposefully like trying to open up conversations, to make, you know, I don't know. I feel like I kind of just leaned into like being myself and like just saying, you know, hopefully like having these conversations, you guys will come along, and that doesn't work for everybody. Like obviously that was half your doing too. I could make you uncomfortable, and then you could like be like, you know what, this is too much, I'm kicking you out, right? And you guys didn't do that, so it's obviously half your doing too. But I wanted to make situations more uncomfortable for us to be able to have these conversations, for us to be able to be like, to be more comfortable. The only reason why we're comfortable now is because of all the things we've gone through these past, you know, years, from me being whatever 14 when I came out or whatever. If you haven't already liked this video, please like this video, give it a big thumbs up, and also subscribe to this channel, because half you guys aren't, and I know that already, but you're gonna enjoy this conversation. And it took me time to figure out things myself, and then to expose you guys to me and what it is for me to be gay. And then
because when you came back from college, you just wanted a purse.
Right. I kind of was just like, I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do.
Right.
And I think that, you know, again, it was a give and take of like, I felt that comfortability, and then also like I wanted to push the envelope.
Yeah, remember when I had that vision?
I do. I do remember the vision, and that's still not gonna happen.
It was a dream. Was it a dream? Oh, no, it was a dream.
Yeah.
So I dreamed, one time I dreamed that
this was years and years ago.
Years and years ago, y'all. I dreamed that Darius came to my door. He had heels on and a dress and a wig. And I said, hello. I said, who are you? I asked the door and I said, okay, may I help you? And he was like,
okay, first of all, let's talk about how I'm unclockable in this dream. You don't even know I'm your son. I'm unclockable.
And so I'm like, who you? And he's like, this is your son. This is Darius. And no, you wouldn't say Darius. You had another name.
Right. Dorisha or something.
Yeah, Dorisha. He had another name. And I was like,
okay. So as of right now, that's still not gonna happen.
So and I always tease him about that dream, and we always have a little inner joke. But at the end of the day, I think that dream was just not a dream of the actual thing happening, but it was a dream of saying that there will be some transitioning, there will be some changes in your son that you're going to see. And that's what I took from it, because all of a sudden the boy came home with a purse, and I'm like,
well, the first purse I had was a satchel.
He had heels.
Okay,
then the next thing I know, the nails were polished. Then the next thing I know, I was like, what a weave. And now he got extensions. Baby.
Okay, they look natural.
Yeah, they do.
Okay.
But let's clock it off.
And you actually didn't need to clock my tea at all, actually. This is my hair.
Oh, yeah. But I thought you told everybody.
No, I'm just kidding. They know.
Oh,
I think they know. But
say,
so this is, obviously my hair didn't grow overnight like this.
Right.
It is pretty long.
It looks nice and it looks very uniform.
Yeah, she did an amazing job with the way it looks. It looks like my natural hair.
And you holding on to that.
Oh, yeah. Okay. It's been a couple months
now. No, it's been a few months.
No, I wouldn't say a few months, but
I think so.
Okay, well, anyways, my point is that okay, so we're talking about like.
But it looks nice. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Talking about what?
My comfortability, right?
Yes.
Black community, I feel like I can't be gay. Gay community, I feel like I can't be black, right? And then, in the gay community, there's a lot more caveats. It's actually. Literally hell. I don't know what other word to say. And what I mean by that, and this is what me bringing back in the nail thing. Talking about my nails, for a period of time, I used to paint my nails, right? And I liked doing that. It was just a fun thing for me. I had the money to do it. I would go to get my nails done. I would pick different colors. And, originally, when I first got my nails done, when I went to San Francisco, I just got smiley faces. I don't know if you remember that, because I don't think I was with you, because it was my first time.
I remember some of Jackie nails.
Well, yeah, that was later on. I got the smiley faces on my nails, and I was like, I just enjoyed the experience. It was almost the experience. I enjoyed the experience of going there and picking out something that I wanted and getting my nails done. That's all it was for me, right? And then, but they did the smiley faces, and then we went to Vegas. This is the second time I got my nails done. We went to Vegas together in the summer, and I got those blue fire nails. I don't know if you remember that.
Blue fire nail.
And I thought that she ate that up, actually. And I really was feeling myself. I said, wow, this is iconic. Then I went back to Arizona. Okay, so first time I was in San Francisco, then Vegas, and now I'm back in Tucson. Okay, the girls messed me up in Tucson. That's when I got the white ones with the line. That was, I think, my third set of nails. I said,
"Oh, the line one was crazy."
Was that? Because it was the one right by my. It was a nail salon right by my house. Yeah. If you don't know, I had to tip the lady because, sorry, I didn't know what I was doing at the time, and I just said, "Here you go." And she literally made my nails like actually horrible. They looked like a kindergartner had done them.
They did. And Darius, I said, "Why would you tip her?" I didn't know. Darius is too nice.
Well, I just felt like she needed something.
Darius, you too nice.
Well, anyway, so I did that, whatever. And then after that point, I was just like, you know what? The reason why I got the smiley faces in the beginning, it was clear with a little smiley face on it. The reason why I did that is because I was easing myself into femininity, quote unquote, right? The first time I did it, I wanted to make sure it was like, just like cool, like it's like a lot of straight masculine guys would not necessarily masculine. But
I seen a masculine guy that is not gay or bi or anything. Right. And they get black nails.
Yeah, they'll get black nails.
Or they get all white nails.
Right.
Yeah.
So that my first thing was just to get something like an emoji, right? A smiley face on my nails. And then I did the blue and black fire, and I thought that was cool too. It was more masculine, I thought. And then I just started doing plain colored nails, different colored nails.
And then
I started. Well, first I was like, okay, let me get like the brown, the neutral color, the nudes. Let me get the blacks
blues.
and the blues and the whatever. And then I've said, well, let me try to do a little bit of this coral color.
And we'll go together get our nails done.
Yeah, and then we started getting our nails done together and all those things. And then I started getting more of like just any color I wanted to, right? I got more comfortable. And then the gay community said, what are you doing?
Who said that?
The gay community. Yeah. And I knew this already, but there were several times where I was going to, I was going to have like some sort of hookup or something. One time, okay, let me just see.
You lost so many.
One time I went to, I was in Houston, and I was going to meet up with this person, and I knew in my heart of heart, I was like, something's up. And I was about to get an Uber to this guy's place. And I texted him, I was like, hey, by the way, I have my nails painted. And I think they were red.
Oh, yeah, I remember you said it.
He said, cancel your Uber right now. Cancel it. And I was like, why? He was like, no, this is what happened. Let me explain. I said, I have my nails painted. And he was like, oh, what color? He specifically asked me what color. And I was like, oh, they're red. He was like, cancel it now. And I said, oh. And then he blocked me after for just having my nails painted red.
What was you supposed to say? Black?
Yes, probably. The black, maybe white. Black specifically, though, was probably the only acceptable color that that it'd be okay. Because the gay community is so fixated on hypermasculinity. It's really hard to explain this to people who are not gay. And you guys are getting tea actually from me.
Can I ask you, in that moment when that happened, how did you feel?
I kind of knew that things like that happen. I just like brushed it off. But like, it happens all the time. Like in the gay community, I don't know how to explain this. So like, we're all, like I said, everyone is trying to grab onto the little privilege they have. As a gay man, if you are more masculine and you are less like able to be clocked as being gay, that is your ticket to privilege. If you can walk in a store, if you can walk on the street and be a guy who's not, people can't tell, that is just more favorable by society. If you can like hide your whatever you do behind closed doors, by yourself.
Right.
And so they don't want to be seen or do anything. It's just like a whole thing with like masculinity. Men can't do, I don't know, it's a whole thing about patriarchy, and I don't want to have to explain all of that. But the point is that, and this is, again, I think this is very highly pertains to the Black community, we have a whole group of people called trade for a reason. Because these men are hyper masculine. You can't even tell in the streets that they even like doing stuff with other guys, because they're so focused on being gym jocks and masculine and all this other stuff. They don't want you to know what they do.
And can I say this? It was just a thing in the news where I saw on YouTube where a guy killed 2 girls because they were about to clock the tea about him being with a transgender or sleeping with a woman, and they were going to tell and reveal it. And so before they revealed it, he killed them because he didn't want nobody to know.
Do you see how harmful the rhetoric is of being homophobic, specifically in the Black community, that this man was so scared?
Yeah.
For people, his friends and family to find out that he would rather kill somebody.
He would rather murder them.
He would rather
kill them.
He would rather kill these 2 girls than to have any of his close friends or family know. That is the problem that we have in our community, and not just our community. I'm just speaking to that.
There's a lot of transgenders that are scared for their lives. They, because every day they like, I live to see another day. That they wake up and say, because they don't know if that's going to be the day that they're going to pass away, or because somebody see them, even if they're not involved with other people. Have heard some of them. They say they can be walking down the street and somebody just jump on them. Because of who they are, because they have heels on, and they know they're clockable or not.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And it's this is all things that I had to figure out on my own. And it's like, I don't know how to explain, like, this is all just constantly in my brain at all times. Like, and it's not even just when I'm talking about this video. Is that why you go,
I mean, I know, do you think that your therapy is helping you be stronger, or?
I think that right now, it's a TBA on the therapy of like what it's doing for me, because I've been doing it for a little while now. That my therapist is like known. I kind of like just gave him my life story and like told him like everything up to date basically. But like at the end of the day, for me, the issues that I don't know what I expect out of therapy, right?
You get tools? He give you certain tools to go by?
Yeah, I think I have definitely had things that have helped me. Like he asked me one day like what makes me happy, and I didn't know what to say. And so then I sat down and I thought, I was like, what actually does make me happy? And that made me realize like I like to cook more, and that's why this recently I was just like I like cooking and things like that, because I had never thought about like what actually could make me happy, or like he was like what could like turn your bad day around, and I had no answer. Cooking? Well, yeah, I mean, I had to think about what it was, and I think that at the time, it is cooking. I like cooking, and I thought I didn't have an answer before. And so I think that he has helped me in a lot of ways like that. But I'm almost looking for him to give me answers to society. And he's not going to be able to change anything. I'm not going to talk to him and all of a sudden black people are not going to be homophobic anymore. That's not how it works.
You're not going to deal with any...
Right. It's not going to be like I'm not going to deal with the situations. It's more of like how I'm going to be able to cope through it. But like honestly, like I don't know if I need that. So I don't know. TBA on the therapy right now of how it's been happening. But I've only been doing it for maybe 4 months. Right. So the point is that I've had to deal with this for a long time. And then this is just the tip of the iceberg of the things that are going on in my mind on a constant basis of thinking about, this is just the two aspects of being black and being gay. But I deal with a lot of other things in my life that I'm thinking about all the time. Which is why I'm always trying to be an advocate for trans people and for women of color and for all these things, because I'm trying to say, I recognize that people are always trying to hold on to their privilege as much as they can. So what would I look like as a man, a gay man, trying to hold on to the aspect that I'm a man, right? Like obviously it's different because I'm a gay man and a gay black man or whatever, but I'm still a man at the end of the day, and I have privileges for being a man. And so I'm always trying to advocate for women and trans women specifically. And I think that because I've seen how cruel people can be trying to cling on to what they have. And so I try to be different than that and talk about things in my videos and say like this, and that or whatever, because I don't want to ever be that person that's perpetuating the systems of oppression to anybody else, right? Because I feel them from both the black community and the gay community. Right. So either way, when it comes to the femininity thing, specifically in the gay community, I think that what I was going to say with the whole like you guys seeing me, get purses or heels or whatever, for you it was probably like, oh, he's just gay, so like this is the natural progression. But for me it was a huge leap to get from like being quote unquote like masculine presenting, even though I'm like what am I trying to say, like my personality is what it is, but I'm saying like the way that I dress and things like that, for me to buy those heels, it took me like that took months and months of deprogramming myself of like, okay, I want to buy these heels. Like I want to wear them. I think that it's not that serious. I had to go through so many things to get to that point. It took the purses first. It took the painting the nails first. It took the different types of heels first, the booted heels. And now I'm not saying that I'm just wearing stilettos every single day or whatever or whatnot. But my point is that it took me a long time to get to the comfortability. Like if I want to wear this, I'm going to. Like it took me a long time to get there because I had to deprogram myself of what society has told me a man is supposed to be. And so within the gay community, this is the last thing about the femininity, because you kind of asked like how my femininity has changed. The gay community is really my hindrance of like how obviously I shouldn't care about what people think, but it's a huge thing about what other gay men think in the gay community, about like the reason why I stopped painting my nails is because of that reason. Not because of that specific guy, but because I knew that I was always going to have to be like, hey, by the way, like... It's
almost adding another thing to your list.
Right.
When it's unnecessary, so you're probably like, okay, let me just not paint the nails and not cause that more problem.
Yeah, and then, oh my gosh, this is literally so much. And then in the gay community, so we talked about how people are racist in the gay community. I didn't grow up, and I know some of you might have had this question when I brought that up. I didn't grow up around other black people like that. I just didn't. I grew up in Greenfield, Wisconsin, if you want to talk about it. Greenfield, Wisconsin. I didn't have a lot of other gay people. Suburbs of Milwaukee. I grew up around a lot of other white people and other races as well, but not a lot of black people. And then I also went to a PWI, right? And so I've had my whole life, I've had to experience being around people who didn't look like me, who weren't like me at all. And then, so when you're talking about like, people being racist, I'm not growing up in, Chicago in a specific area where there's going to be, black people, black gay men or whatever, all on Grindr or whatever app or whatever. And my close friends are not all just a whole bunch of black gay friends. I never had that.
Which I think, not to cut you off, you're fine. But I think that's, for me as a mom, I feel that, I don't know. I felt that if you went to a black college or HBCU, you would have been like more like.
Oh yeah, we talked about this. There would be more homophobia.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Dealing with more homophobia, but also dealing with a lot of threats or getting jumped on, very much a lot of pressure. You know what I'm saying? That's what I felt. Now, maybe I could be wrong.
Right. We don't know.
I mean, I don't know.
I didn't go to HBCU.
Right.
You.
Right. And I don't know.
Because there's going to be people who went.
I felt that even, my thing is right now that since he's been to a PWI, I feel that there's pros and cons to both.
I think there are people who have been to both. I've seen
but I'm saying if you want HBCU, maybe it would have been been some pros and cons.
Right.
PWI.
Right.
Pros
That's
and
true.
cons.
That's true.
So
as
it's
a black person at a HBCU, you're not black because everyone else is.
Right.
At a PWI, you're well, I was both actually. Right. Black, obviously. Right. But the point is that there are pros and cons to both, and I think that there is. Again, for me and my mindset of thinking about how I view the black community in homophobia, I obviously don't know how my experience would have been in an HBCU. And there are going to be people who went to HBCUs and be like, well, it was fine. Like, I had a lot of gay friends and they were fine. And I know people are going to say that. Please don't. I get it. We don't know what the experience is like, but I do understand what you're saying, where it could have been worse for me in a specific area of maybe I wouldn't have been black, but I would have been still gay there. And maybe I would have had it worse there. Because I don't think
but it would have been still some bonuses.
Of course, because again, I wouldn't have had to worry about the blackness at all.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of give and take. So don't take what we said the wrong way, and I actually don't care if you do. Yeah. But the point is that I grew up around white people, right? And I went to a PWI, and so the reason me bringing up the racism is that I didn't have a lot of black gay representation or black gay friends or things around me besides Malik, right? And he also has the same exact experience as me. He grew up at the same schools as me. He also went to a PWI as well.
Yeah, have a lot
and his PWI was more white than mine was. Mm-hmm. If you don't know what PWI is, it's a predominantly white institution. I'm sure most black people know what that is, but and so. The reason why I brought that up is because in the gay community, in the areas that I've been in, that is mostly white, and when I went to Tucson, white and Hispanic, they have a perception of what you need to be as black. Now, I haven't explained this part. Hookup culture is different in the gay community than it is in the straight community. And we.
Okay. So like, I'm gonna hook up with you, then you a hook up. No, not hook up.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out what I want to say, because. You have to think about being straight. 90% of people around you are going to be straight as well. 95 probably, right?
Okay.
And you grew up being in high school or being in middle school or growing up where everyone around you is straight. And when you're in middle school, you like this boy and you guys talk, and there's no other stigmas around you guys talking or taboos or anything. And same when you get into high school, right? As a gay person, specifically my experience, I didn't have a lot of gay people in my school at all. Mm-hmm. Gay people are largely stunted in relationships.
Yeah.
And they start later in every aspect, because we are not able to do anything until we're like maybe 18.
So y'all never ever experienced love.
Most gay people's experiences in high school, and again, this is my own perception of it. If you're a gay person and you disagree with me, do not come for me, please. I don't need it. I really don't need you coming for me.
You talking from experience.
This is me talking from experience, but also from me knowing the gay experience as well. I'm just not speaking for every gay person is what I'm saying. That most gay people don't have the experience of like, oh, I had my first, significant other or kiss or whatever at 14, and then we went to prom together, and then we did this. None of that happens for us.
Yeah,
we don't get that, right?
You went, Go ahead.
We go to prom alone, or we go with our friends,
with the group,
or with the group, or whatever, right? And so my point is that. What happens is we're largely stunted in that area, and we can only turn to apps. Now, this is the whole thing that I'm not going to go into deep stuff by it. What?
Apps like apps? Like
what do you mean apps like apps?
Like apps?
Yes, like apps like that.
Tinder apps?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And so, and I don't know. This. I don't think this is the lesbian experience. I want more lesbian friends because I don't really know what their experience is for the girls. And I never met a lesbian person until I was.
Did y'all knock it out real good?
The girl's cat. She's a lesbian.
Who?
My cat.
How you know she's a lesbian?
No, my cat's not a lesbian.
Oh.
The
How you know your cat is a lesbian?
No. The cat is not lesbian. The girl is. The girl who's studying abroad.
Okay.
So she's probably the one, my only friend who is a lesbian. I don't.
Do
have
you
any
guys
other friends.
click together real quick?
Yeah. But
y'all understand.
So I'm saying I don't know their experience because I don't really know the lesbian
Who's there?
experience.
Oh,
lesbian experience.
lesbian, okay.
I just know gay men experience, and specifically gay black men who grew up in white areas experience. That's what I know.
I know lesbian girls go through things too. They probably
I know they do.
They think that every time they go be around a girl, the girl think they want them.
Oh no. I don't think that they do. I don't know.
No. I said no. I'm not saying the lesbian.
Oh, you're saying the straight girl.
Yeah. Not the lesbian
I thought
girl.
you said the lesbian.
Yeah. No.
I can get wherever I want. I don't get wherever I want. I thought she was saying that they were saying that.
No. I'm saying they have to deal with that, like, because sometimes they.
Well, gay men have to do it too.
Right. Y'all always they was like, oh, I know you want me. I know you want me. Like, what?
Oh my god! One time I was in the locker room in high school, and there was this gay guy, and I was gay too, and everyone knew that, so I don't know why they did a lot. But I was in the locker room, I was walking in there, and there was this line, and they were like, "We don't want to change in this." Like, it was, there was like locker things, whatever, and they're like, "We don't want to change because so and so's right there." And I said, "You guys tried that," and I feel like it was a movie, and I was trying to be mean to the bullies, and I was like, ugh, you guys are disgusting, and I just walked in, I started changing, they all
Did you say that?
Yeah, I was like, what is wrong with you guys? Because they were trying to not change because the gay guy was right there, but I'm gay too, and they knew that, so I was like, this is so weird. I don't know, but whatever. The point is that wow, I'm just spilling all the gay people's tea, and not everyone I don't speak for all gay people, so don't go to your cousin, your gay uncle, and be like, Darius told me. Don't say none of that, okay? I don't need anybody, any DMs, anybody commenting saying you don't know the whole gay. Don't try it, please. Thank you. This is my experience. The point I'm trying to get to, I'm trying to get to this, is that white gay people only want a specific type of black. Not white gay people specifically, but non-black gay people. Sorry, let me re-say that. I'm sorry to everyone at home. People who are non-white are only put in a box. Now, this is something that you might understand as a black person in general, right? And sorry, white people, if you're watching, I love you down. But white people have always been afforded the ability to be individuals. I can do what I want. I can be an individual, but I don't speak for my race. I don't speak for everyone else. I can be cool. I can be funny. I can be this. I can be that. And then you're just that person, right? But black people have historically had to speak for their race. If you're a black person surrounded by white people and you do something, all black people do that, right? According to those white people. Let me rephrase that. I think it is usually white people who perpetrate this. Minority people speak for their entire race, right? The one minority person I know, right? So that being said, I think that in the gay community, we have this whole thing where white people can do and be whoever they would choose to be. But black men specifically are looked upon as masculine, dominant. There's a box for minorities, okay? There's not a box for white people. White people don't have a box in the gay community for black gay. Not black gay, sorry. I'm sorry, I've been drinking, so just hear me out on my mix-ups.
You have not touched a drink.
I've been drinking this whole time, actually.
I ain't seen you.
I have.
Oh, I did see your cup.
Anyway, so white people, like in normal life, and in the gay community, don't have a box. They can do whatever they want to.
Why they don't have you didn't have a box on Tinder?
No.
Oh.
I'm saying this is a figurative box. Like a figuratively box
I see.
to fit in.
Gotcha.
Right.
I'm following.
White people don't have a box.
Right.
They, like I said, can do and be and express how they want to be. And that doesn't dictate the rest of the community.
They're free to do whatever.
Right. Black men in the gay community are seen to be specific things in communities that are non-black. Okay, now this is my experience from being in places that are being in areas that don't have a high black population. Okay, obviously this is a different experience. If you're black and gay amongst other black and gay people, you guys are all the same, right? I'm talking about my experience growing up around people who are not also black and gay, right? And so when you have all these characteristics tied to what a black man is supposed to be in the gay community, they need to be masculine. They need to be dominant. They need to be what I said before. All of those things, right? When I am not like that, right? I don't consider myself this big masculine dominant guy. They don't know where to fit me in their mind because that is not what they have seen. That's not what they've been told by society that black people are.
Even been in the household trained, you know, raising as a person being raised, they are told to be masculine.
Right.
Do not play with.
And
dolls.
there are a lot of
do not play with dolls. Do not do this. Do not do that. A man is supposed to. You better stop crying.
Right.
Men do not cry.
And
it's a lot of that.
Once you like what is it called? Deconstruct this stuff, all the pieces fit together and it starts to make a huge puzzle. When you start looking at the parallels between how white gay men think of black gay men, and then you zoom out and you think of police brutality, let's think about it. So we're talking about black men who are 14, 13 years old being treated like adults in the judicial system. Oh my gosh, I couldn't say that. Police brutality. Black men and black women are what is it called? When they make you adult, they make us adults. Like we're always supposed to be older than we are. We have more pain tolerance. They masculinize women, black women. All of those things you see in the gay community as well amongst white gay men too, because it infiltrates every level, everywhere. Mm-hmm. And so the reason why we have the view of black people in this country and abroad is masculinity. So like, I don't know how to explain it. Like black men to me, in my view of what I think the world sees, is that black men are always the most masculine. They're always the most masculine of any race of men. Mm-hmm. Black men are masculine. They're like the, whatever, providers for the family and all this other stuff. And I think it infiltrates our own community too. We think that as well.
Right. And that's why they say black men built this world, or...
What do you mean?
Built this country.
Oh, we did.
Like with their hands.
Well, actually, all of us did.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think that has anything to do with it. Well, I don't know. I think...
But I'm just saying, I was saying that to say... What was I saying?
I don't know. But I understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
Like, we did do that. And maybe that is the reason why so it had to be something. Some reason why we're masculinized. I don't know why. I haven't done all my research. I don't really know. I can't go back. I mean, I can, but I haven't done my research yet on why that is specifically. I'm sure it has something to do with slavery. I'm sure it has something to do with all that. Why the black community at large, women included, are masculinized amongst other women. Black women are the most quote unquote masculine in society.
We've been through a lot.
We have. We've been through so much.
And so that
are you saying this for black women, or are you saying
black people in general? Of course. But we've been through a lot, and I think that when you go through something, it makes you stronger. Mm-hmm. It's like literally builds your backbone into strength. And then I think that sometimes when you go through so much, that pressure brings out this leader, this strong person to be even greater in life. It's like you want to work harder, you want to do more, but you know what I'm saying?
I understand what you're saying.
Because for some of us, I ain't gonna say all of us, but for some of it's like it's almost bring out the tenacity to be able to. I'm gonna be Brazilian and this. I'm gonna be, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna do this, and that.
I think that,
and then that makes us look like we don't have any type of balance.
That off the cuff of my head, since I have my drink and I'm just thinking, like, I think that, like, at least if we're just talking about black and white women have been afforded femininity. Not that black women aren't feminine,
right?
But white women in society have been afforded the opportunity to be feminine. They don't have to.
That's a lady.
It's like, I don't know how the femininity is tied to whiteness, and I'm not. That's it. I guess I can't elaborate on that because I haven't done any research. But I feel that it is like that way, and it's almost like it's difficult for black women to try to claim femininity in society's eyes because
they think we're alphas.
Well, there's a lot of
sometimes
reasons for that. Like when we're talking about, like single mother households, sometimes you have to take on the role of being masculine and feminine,
father,
because you have to be both.
Yeah.
When the father's not.
Some people say that a woman can't be both, because if you're a female, you should have you have female energy, and you cannot take a role of a man because you're not a man. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I believe that's true in some cases. I really believe that's true.
What do you mean you can't? Like you can't do it physically, or you're saying that you shouldn't?
No, I really feel that a woman, being a single mom, you can only go so far as being that fatherly role.
Okay. Because
you're not a man. And there's some things that a man is going to go through that a woman can never ever explain to their child.
Like, okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, some things that you be like, okay, I don't know about that. I never thought that through because I am not a man. I am a female. Right. But I'm trying to tell you the tendency of, our son, open the door for a woman, or, take care of a woman, or whatever, love a woman like you will love me. And we could tell them those things. However, we cannot really teach them to be. Sometimes, I'm trying to say what I'm trying to say. I'm trying to say is that we cannot do everything that a man does, but we can teach our children to be, polite and different things like that.
I want to dig into that later on, but
they can be successful too, being in a single.
Of course,
and being respectful and different things like that. I'm just saying there's certain things that a woman cannot teach their child.
I think it's interesting, but then that makes me think, just off the top of my head, like why is it that if you had a son and you're trying to teach them values of being a man, why is it that your son will listen to you, obviously, but why will he listen to a man more on what he should do as a man than listen to you? Like let's say you know everything, let's say you do know everything, and you're teaching your son, why is your son needing a man to tell him those things for him to listen?
It's not so much telling him his thing. I just think that some things that a child as a son will go through that I cannot tell him appropriate way, because a black man that has been through that is going to be able to be more experienced because he's been through it.
Of course.
As I'm a female, and I'm just speaking on what I know of as far as somebody telling me, or as far as what I looked up on the internet, as opposed to, that's
obviously understandable.
That's what I was trying to say.
That's obviously understandable, but I think that
but I think a woman can really a single mom can raise a child, a son, or several sons to be successful in life.
Of course. Man, that happens all the time.
Yeah.
And it happens in the opposite way as well.
I was just saying that sometimes moms, as single moms, we don't have the 100% answer to everything when it comes down to a son.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Raising a son.
Yeah, so
basically.
I didn't even know this video was going to turn out the way that it is. This is a serious conversation. But I feel like sometimes people like having these serious conversations, and I think it's an extension of me talking about my coming out story, basically. Because I had to go through figuring all this stuff out. But the point is that I think that white people are not put in a box. White gay people are not put in a box in the gay community. I think that every other minority group is put in a box. And once you don't fit that, perception of what those specifically white people have created, in that they created the boxes. If you don't fit in that box, they don't really know where to put you, and so you just are on the outskirts, right? And as a black gay man who isn't again someone who considers themselves masc, dom, this and that, especially when I'm over here painting my nails in the gay community, then it's what is that? I don't know what to do. But again, you can be
outside of the box even of your community. You ostracized.
Right. Because I'm not even what they expect me to be. Even as a black person in the gay community.
But so in the back, they even rejecting you.
Well, I think that there's obviously people across the board who are not into femininity, and that's again Also, a lot of gay men who are like mask for mask is what they call it, like where they're masculine and they want a masculine person. They're also feeding into the, I don't know, it's this whole thing about the patriarchy of like, I want a masculine person that you can't. They want to basically look like friends in public.
Exactly.
And
I've
do
seen
some
that.
behind the doors.
I've seen that before. No. Let me just say I have not seen that. Let me just say that I've seen it on YouTube where people will tell their experience about them being with, why you not claiming me? I'm tired of you. I'm hiding me. Or you just act like we're friends. Yeah.
Very much.
Or people that will wait till their wives go to work or church or wherever they got to go and then bring their friend over, or say, this is my best friend, but their best friend and them are
right.
But I
can't really go and tell you why our community does that, because no other community, when you think of trade or you hear the word trade or whatever, those are black people. And correct me if I'm wrong, I've never even heard people talk about trade in any other community except for black people. And I want to know why we have a whole group of gay men who are so masculine and they don't like femininity at all, that we have a word for their community in our community. And it is so taboo to be, not that it's taboo to be feminine, but there are so many black gay men who will just never, ever, ever think about being feminine because of our community and how we treat gay people.
I think it's because of our community, but it's also is because of their family. Because I can even say that people my age, because gay was not a thing back when I was growing up.
What do you mean?
In the 70s, 80s, 90s, you know what I'm saying? It was not, it was shunned upon. It was really bad. My thing is, there is a lot of people that are my age that are in marriages and that are in marriages and stuff that they did that to cover up.
Oh, yeah.
Who they were.
So many people.
And they live in this life like, oh, I am secretly gay, but I cannot come out because it will really make my family go crazy. Like, and especially being at our age. Because we're a different generation.
Right.
So even if they was to come out and say, oh, I'm gay, or I'm this, I'm that, they will be disowned. Because of the mindsets.
Right.
Of the way, they were, of their family. Right. Or they'll be shunned. They feel that they're going to lose everything.
And that just made me think about, like, the duality of, like, how society is progressing, specifically in the United States. Like you said, at one point in time, 70s, 80s, whatever, it was really shunned and taboo to be gay, right? They existed still. Gay people have existed for as long as humans have existed, right?
Right.
But because, and also in different societies, specifically, and I don't want to get into this, but if you know, I know some people are clocking this, in non-westernized societies, not the United States, or like what we call westernized civilizations, there's been people who have been openly gay. There's been ancient, like, what am I trying to say? More indigenous cultures that have been fully accepting of gay people. We have cultures now that have a whole third gender. There's so many different.
Wait, when you say third gender, what do you mean by that?
They're like, they're not man or woman. They're like, they call them third gender, and it depends on the culture that we're talking about, but they could be trans, they could be somebody who doesn't, I guess, identify as either, or it just depends on what.
Could it be, now, I'm not trying to be funny about this, but when somebody identifies as a tiger or a animal, does that include that too?
So,
and is that real? I know it's real, but people really do identify as animals sometimes, right? I'm not. Right.
I don't have any personal experience with knowing anybody who identifies as a tiger.
I've seen
or things like that, right? Okay. But what I will say,
it's real.
But what I will say is that those people who do that, I have no like, I'm not gonna have an opinion on it because I don't know, right? And I've never met somebody who identifies as that or whatever like that, right? But when we're talking about gay people or trans people or non-binary people or whatever, who are like who represent
different.
bigger numbers
Yeah.
in the human population. Oftentimes, people who are in opposition or like who don't understand gay people or don't understand trans people, what they'll do is they'll try to find the weirdest extreme. Not to say that you're doing this, but this happens all the time. They'll try to find the weirdest extreme. Oh, I found somebody who identified as a crayon. Is that what you're trying to do? And what they'll do is they'll try to take the people who not many people are going to identify as a tiger. Not many people at all, right? There's a lot of gay people in the world. Not many people who are going to identify as a tiger, and they'll try to use that as an example. Or an animal.
Yeah.
They'll try to use that as an example to be like,
to highlight.
Are you like this?
Right.
To on purpose to ostracize the entire community.
I understand that.
And
yeah.
And my point in that is not saying that you can't identify as what everyone identifies. I've never met somebody who identifies as anything other than right?
I just seen a video of that. That's why I said that.
And you probably saw that because people probably were like,
it went viral about a woman trying to get a job, and then she came to a job. She came to a job that Monday, and she dressed like a tiger.
I bet you
and she was like, he was like, what are you dressed in? She said,
I think I saw that.
I identify as a tiger, and she didn't say that. In the interview, she had regular clothes on and everything. But when she came to work that Monday, she had a tiger suit on. And she said, I forgot to tell you, I identify as a tiger.
Mm-hmm. And I bet you the comments are going, oh, all this LGBT people.
Right. So it kind of makes you guys look like it's a joke.
Right. Highlighting those situations like that. Again, I don't know that woman. I don't know what is going on. I don't know anything about that, right? But highlighting those situations and then broadening them to the entire LGBTQ community is harmful because I think that is like that's the point of that video going viral. The reason why you saw that video is because people were like, what is this? They're doing this now. They're identifying as tigers. They do it on purpose. They highlight those specific things on purpose. But the point that I was trying to say was... And
we're not trying to offend anybody, y'all.
Right, I'm not trying to offend anybody.
If you identify as
I don't think that I'm being offensive in any way.
I just want to make sure that...
I know. But I think that if you identify... Or what was I going to say? What were we talking about? We were talking
identify as a...
the trans people and other people. I was going to say something specific about it. Like two-spirited people or people who are a third gender or whatever. For a long time in history, we have seen these people, so 70s and 80s and 90s, it's become more and more common, and people are always like,
becoming more
that's
accepted.
Because like, they're looking at the internet. And they're like being like, oh, well, they see people being more accepted. Or no, they're like looking at the internet and they're being influenced to be gay or they're influenced to be trans. But really what's happening is that over time, it's becoming more accepted. And therefore, the people who were not saying anything before now are saying something or now are coming out of the closet more often than not. So when you were talking about people who marry the opposite gender because they feel like they need to, and then they come out after 40 years, they have 3 children already, and they're a substitute teacher at a school, and all of a sudden now they're coming out saying, I don't even like women, and they're a guy. You're saying like, oh, well, what was all of this? They were doing that because back when they were younger and they were growing up, it wasn't accepted. They had to do what they needed to do. Yeah. And the same thing happened, and I like to use this example because I hear it all the time, is with left-handedness. If you want to see a real-world example, back there, I don't know if you knew this, but at a certain point in time, being left-handed was like considered demonic in a lot of people's minds, I guess, for whatever reason. Not just demonic, but like taboo in general, right?
Yeah, I've always thought left-handed was people that was very talented because it.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, now we think that, but the original consensus was that left-handed people were actually freaks. They were weird. Not even just weird. I think that there was a certain population of people who thought they were actually demonic, and they would do.
It's a lot of left-handed artists that very popular artists that's left-handed.
Yeah, I know.
They're very, and let me just say this one more thing. In the Bible, and if y'all read the Bible, they had a lot of left-handed men that were very good arrow. They did arrow. Archery, and they were very good at it, and they're very skilled at it, and they were gifted. Because they were left-handed men that were picked in the Bible, if y'all read that. But anyway.
But yeah, so for a period of time that was obviously taboo, and people didn't like it, and it was considered demonic and all these other things, right? And then once people started to change their minds about left-handed people, guess what happened to the number of left-handed people in society? It started to skyrocket. And the reason why is because people in the beginning were holding back the fact that they were left-handed because they saw how other people were treated who were left-handed. Mm-hmm. So why would you ever come out and say I'm left-handed if everyone you know who was left-handed is treated terribly?
But if you only knew it's a gift. Sometimes it's a gift. It's,
right. Which is what we think now, right? But that's not what people thought at the time.
Yeah. So it's like things have to progress and revolve. You know.
But then all the people at the time will say, "Well, you're just doing it because you see other people doing it." And that's what they did with gay people. And but my point is that.
But there's a lot of things that you can say. People say that, oh, you're gay only because your father didn't spend time with you, or you're gay because your father didn't.
A lot of things are not based on any kind of fact.
So untrue.
Obviously, that's not true and not proven to be true.
My thing is, I was gonna say to you is that the reason I think that's so too that the reason why things are progressing too is that there's a lot of people in this day and age that are dealing and I'm not trying to be funny, but there's a lot of people that's dealing with identifying with having children that are becoming gay, that are gay.
Of course.
And they are telling their parents, this is who I am. And some of the parents are trying to process it, but also trying to love their child in the midst of, and not trying to put them in this world of to be, rejection.
Right.
Because if you are a mother, and I know you mothers understand when you have children, and some of you fathers understand. I'm not saying all fathers, because some fathers are not in their children's lives, but you fathers, there's a love for your child that is, any child that you have, it's unconditional, but it is, I cannot even explain the love. And so that you don't want to see them hurt, you don't want to see them damaged, you don't want to see them depressed, anxiety, or anything that they can go through. It's already, they're going to have to deal with rejection. But it's all about how they deal with the rejection, how they live their lives, and how they respond to it. And to me, I feel that why put the more pressure on them as a parent to say, "Oh, you're less than nothing. What do you mean you're gay? What do you mean you this?" Even though we do go through our processes of saying, "Oh, man, I would never probably be a grandmother, or I would never probably see my child have, and it's the majority thing we go through our heads, like, I would never be that grandmother, or he would not carry on the name, or whatever. So those are things that we have to process. But at the end of the day, you're going to say, that's still my child, and I have an unconditional love. Just like how Christ have unconditional love for us as Christians. So my thing is, I have unconditional love for my child. But at the same, I don't want him to feel that rejection. I don't want to feel. So it's almost like parents begin to accept their child, and it becomes to try to learn their child. Mm-hmm. Because it's a process. You got to try to learn this. Like, what's the right thing to say? What's the wrong thing to say? What you don't want to offend your child, but at the same time, you have. I think that it's a progression because parents get better in time.
Yeah.
With that child, understanding that child.
I don't think that every parent does that. Obviously, you know that.
Yeah.
I think that it just depends. I think that obviously.
I think it depends on the love, the genuine love.
I think that honestly, people would rather. A lot of people would rather not do that. And you just saw the number of homeless LGBT youth.
Yeah.
They would rather. They don't have that unconditional love for their child. They would rather kick them out onto the street, instead of sit down and say, you know what, we do have differences. Let me try to hear you out and understand where you're coming from, or why you're like this, or anything like that. They don't do that.
Yeah, I do know that, and that's why I'm not saying it's a high percentage.
Oh no, I'm not saying.
But I'm saying that it's more of a percentage than it was when I was growing up.
Right, of course.
So I'm saying that it is evolving where you are in this way. Because I guarantee you, there's some people that's watching this video right now that is going to experience this, that haven't had a child but is pregnant now, or going to be pregnant in the future, and talk and very, very homophobic, very, very not understanding about the gay community, and or maybe be a Christian or whatever, but experience this later.
Because you don't ever think it's going to happen to you.
And you
of course
don't
not.
never ever think that, yes, I was one, like, oh no, that couldn't happen to me, you know.
You just never think,
you never think of it. Or you wouldn't know how, when it comes on you, I don't think, it's almost like, it has to be a grace upon you to be able to handle it, and mercy, because you have to have a heart of gold. To me, I feel, to be able to love unconditionally. You have to have that. I think that's a gift, to love unconditionally, not to judge, but you may be disappointed. I ain't gonna even lie. You may be disappointed, but at the end of the day, you be like, okay, it doesn't matter. I was disappointed. However, I'm over it. This is my son or this is my daughter, and I'm going to love them unconditionally and accept it, and I'm going to love them like God will love them. So it is what it is. That's how I believe. You may believe something different, but it's okay. And my thing is, as a mom, I'm trying to learn my son, learn the certain things. I think that I have grown, because it used to be, jokey, but I have learned to say, some things I'm not going to say to him, because I don't want to put you in that mood or get you really, really into, you know what I'm saying? Because you have enough to deal with the world.
Right.
I don't want to put that on you, the anxiety, that thing. But one thing I can say about my son, that I can say that I'm proud of you with, I feel that you are a strong leader.
Thank you.
Very strong leader, because for me, and I'm proud of you, because for me to say that you deal with a lot of rejection, a lot of things in life that you probably haven't even told me, shared with me. But the things that you have shared with me, I'm like, wow. I had to sit back and think about it. And I had to put myself in his shoes, vicariously learning through him. And I'm just like, oh, wow. He does deal with a lot, because even me being a woman dealing with rejection and a black woman, I'm like, wow, it hurts. So just to think about him being black, gay, living in this world, I'm going to say short, but you know what I'm saying? You have to deal with stuff that I'm like, wow, it's unimaginable. I can never, ever live a mile in his shoes, but he lived in his shoes, but he's still a leader. He was in his sorority and being
fraternity. Y'all say sorority, you do.
Fraternity. I'm sorry, y'all. Fraternity, and he was social chair. That made me proud. He has always shown up to be a leader. He has always shown up to speak up for people. He has always shown up to be able to be a leader in his friendship group. And for me, I put a badge. Listen, and I know it may not come from me, but I feel proud to be his mom, because for me to be blessed with a child like that has leadership roles, that be able to lead a group, he's able to speak he's able to speak professionally in front of a group. He's able to hold his own. He's able to speak his mind. He don't care what you think. He's able to speak up. I mean, it's just, I'm a proud mom. I mean, not proud in a way to say I'm prideful, but I'm like, I couldn't ask for a better sons, because y'all don't want y'all to be thinking that, because my zaddy son Chunk is a son too, and I'm proud of him as well, being respectful. But I feel that, I'm just talking about him right now, I feel that he has done many, many things to make me like, wow. Thank you. You are really an amazing person with all that he's go through. Now let me just tell you, he goes through a lot. I know some of the things you guys may not know. He goes through a lot. Many looks, many rejections. Many looks, many rejections. He has go out here, and I could not live a mile in his shoes. But this man still shows leadership. And if you're feeling down, he gonna think about you before himself. I know that for him. He will even, the reason why I know that is because it's people in my family and friends. He don't know. I watch him. I observe him. When somebody is throwing up, or like drunk, for instance, throwing up and everything, Darius would stay up with that person all night, make sure they're okay, clean up their throw up, wipe them off, fan them, make sure they're okay, to nurse them back to health. That's who he is. That's just who he is as a person. And for me, that makes my heart leap, and I'll be like, wow. I could not ask for a better son, and I wouldn't change it for the world. What's in this wine?
I don't know. Thank you, Mom.
No, I'm serious. It's the truth. I'm just telling the truth, because I never told you that, but I feel that for you, all that you go through, for being a leader like you are, I'm proud of you.
Thank you.
And you keep on shining the light, and I feel that, to me, I feel that you're harder on yourself than you should be, because I feel that a lot of people need to see your light. Your light shines through the world, and that's why a lot of people love you and authentically love you who you are. And I just know the same Darius y'all get, I get at home. This is not a joke. We have conversations like this on camera, off camera, and it be authentic, and he just share his feelings. And I feel that I'm very blessed with him for him to be emotionally intelligent at his age, and be able to be aware of his emotions. That is a blessing, that he can be able to, really speak for others on other people's behalf.
Thank you. I feel like I don't know what to say after that introduction.
Well, it's the truth. I'm just telling my truth.
Yeah, I think that I do, or I obviously don't think about that aspect of anything that you just said, because I just am living my day-to-day life, so I don't have that outside perspective of I guess how I behave or how I act or whatever. So I appreciate you saying that, because sometimes I'm not able to see anything. I mean, like, you don't understand, like, if I were to say anything, if anybody were to say anything about you, you would be like, you maybe not have seen that in yourself.
Right.
So I appreciate you saying that. But yeah, I do try to do those things that you're saying. I don't even know if this requires a response at all.
And no, I think that sometimes it can.
I don't want to be like, yeah, so I actually do that.
Right, I am doing this. I do that.
I do.
But I'm just trying to get him his flowers. I just let you know, the guys know that I think that he is a very strong leader, and I look up to him as being a strong leader. His leadership can be an influence on me as well. I'm like, wow, he's a strong leader. I am a leader. His father is a leader. We have endowed. We are a family of leaders. And I'm not going to kid y'all and y'all be thinking, oh, y'all just think y'all. No, we are honestly a family of leaders. And I feel that for him, his leadership shines the most out of all four of us.
I think.
No.
Okay.
Let me just say this. His leadership shines the most. Only because he goes through the most as far as society, and for him to be able to shine forth his leadership skills and being a leader in any situation is remarkable. It's astounding, because listen to me, I could be a leader. I don't have to go through the stuff that he go through.
That was a very long discussion. We talked about a lot of different topics.
Yeah, we talked about a lot of different. We got more to talk about tomorrow.
Yeah, we have a lot more to talk about, but maybe not so serious. But I'm glad we had this conversation, because I do think that these conversations are so important. They're always in my mind, and so I'm glad that whenever the times we have are able to have conversations here, because I know not everybody cares about them, but there's a lot of people who do, and I'll get DMs and messages of like, saying thank you for talking about these things in an open situation. I mean, in an open context, because I think that it's very important for us as Black people to have these conversations, and I don't think that Black people have them enough. I don't ever see, not ever, but I don't see enough the conversations that I want to talk about being talked about in the Black community. Is like on YouTube, or having other people's experience talked about. And so, like, being Black and gay, and being Black and a woman, and all those things, like, I want to have those conversations that we can talk about them more frequently, especially in generations that are not mine. I know my audience is not mostly Gen Z. I want to have these conversations with you guys, right? Because people my age, who are Gen Z, are probably see these conversations on TikTok or somewhere else or whatever, but I want you guys to have these conversations that you may not ever have thought of. You may be stuck in your ways. You may be, how older, and you're like, oh, I never thought about this or that or whatever. I want you to be able to have those conversations and be open to them. Anyways, we'll see you guys next time with that video. Peace out. I thought I didn't do intros, but
I know I say that.
I may cut it out.
Wait, what can I say my
Oh
tags?
yeah. You can say your tags. Say them. Who are you?
Danger. Okay, so on Snapchat, I'm B Loves Life OG. On TikTok, I would say Twitter.
You don't have.
I don't have a Twitter. Yes, I do have a Twitter.
Oh.
I'm B Loves Life.
Oh, get off of Twitter. It's terrible.
I never ever tweeted.
It's terrible.
I never tweeted in my life. But anyways, Instagram is B Loves Life 2. YouTube is B Loves Life. TikTok is B Loves Life. Facebook is B Loves Life Official.
Okay.
Follow me on all of them.
Follow her on all of them.
And you know what? Always be for the girls in your life, okay?
If you haven't already, please like this video and
Danger,
subscribe
I
as
couldn't
well.
say that.
What? Actually, what did you say? I didn't hear it.
I said always be for the girls.
Oh, always be for the girls. Thank you, guys. Be for the girls. Please do that.
Go back.
If you haven't liked this video...
Go ahead.
Sorry.
Oh, and also, whatever I said in this video and that may have offended somebody, please forgive me in advance. 'Cause I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to offend you.
Mm-hmm.
Because some of the words I say, I'm like, okay.
Right. I think we're fine. I'm usually a really good radar of what people are going to be offended
If it's
by.
cancelable.
If it's cancelable, I always go, well, and I try to like steer the conversation.
When you said the word well, I know I did something wrong.
And I go, yeah, so let's steer it.
Yeah.
But I think today we're
when he
fine.
said well means anytime Derek said well, is you're finna get canceled. You're on the verge of losing everything that you had.
I just try to like make sure that we are just encompassing.
On one accord.
Sorry, I'm traumatized from the few times that I've been canceled. I have to make sure I know what I'm talking about.
You been canceled?
Mommy, yes, I've been canceled before.
For how long?
No, but I mean like when people are, I don't like when people are upset.
Was it 24 hours?
It might have been more longer than that.
48 hours?
I don't like when people are upset at me. So I just try to make sure that no feathers are ruffled. Unless I need the feathers to be ruffled. Sometimes I will say, and I don't care if you're upset, because I know those specific points are needed to be said.
Thank you.